Hey everyone, these are the areas that are the most crowded places on the planet. Join me as I count down 15 of the most crowded places where people live. Starting with number 15, Jalousie neighborhood in Port-au-Prince, Haiti. Jalousie, it's a densely populated neighborhood in Port-au-Prince in Haiti, and it's best known for its colorful hillside houses. But as of recent estimates, it's home to between 50 to 80,000 residents, meaning that the population density here is really high, more so than even the crowding seen elsewhere in Port-au-Prince. The area has grown rapidly over the past few decades, driven by rural to urban migration and the lack of affordable housing. In 2013, the Haitian government launched a project to paint the exteriors of the houses here bright colors, inspired by the work of Haitian artist Préfet Defoe. This initiative, known as Beauty versus Poverty, aimed to improve the neighborhood's appeal. The lack of formal infrastructure here is a serious problem, as many homes are built without proper planning or access to essential services such as clean water, sanitation, and electricity. While the community's closeness to Port-au-Prince does provide some access to jobs and services, educational facilities and healthcare services here are struggling. Schools are often overcrowded, and similarly, healthcare facilities are limited, meaning residents frequently rely on clinics and hospitals in other parts of the city. Recent troubles and disasters in the country, too, have put further pressure on every neighborhood, with Jalousie being particularly affected because of how many people there are. Residents have, though, developed a sense of solidarity and resilience in the face of these problems, often working together to address the issues and support each other. Number 14, the Mong Kok neighborhood in Hong Kong, China. Mong Kok, a bustling neighborhood in Hong Kong in China, is known for its vibrant street life, dense population, and unusual mix of commercial and residential areas. It's located in the Yaozi Mong district in the Kowloon Peninsula. It's one of the most densely populated neighborhoods in the world, with an estimated population density of about 130,000 people per square kilometer. The total population of the area is approximately 200,000 residents, many of whom have been attracted to the area because of Hong Kong's status as a global urban center. The streets here are constantly teeming with people. The neighborhood is a maze of narrow streets and towering buildings, featuring a blend of modern skyscrapers and older, more traditional structures. Housing here ranges from high-rise apartments to older, subdivided flats. The high density here has led to a trend called crucible apartments, where living spaces are subdivided into extremely small units, often housing entire families in spaces as small as a few square feet. Despite this high density, though, Mong Kok is not just a residential area, it's also a major commercial hub. The streets here are lined with shops, restaurants, and entertainment venues, creating a vibrant, almost 24-hour-a-day atmosphere. Nathan Road, one of Hong Kong's busiest routes, runs through Mong Kok and serves as a central artery for both vehicles and pedestrians. The Mong Kok MTR station is one of the busiest in Hong Kong's transportation network, providing transit connections across the city. Buses and minibuses further improve connectivity, making it a bit easier for residents and visitors to navigate. Number 13, Yorkville, New York City, USA. Holding the title of being the most densely populated place in North America, Yorkville is a neighborhood on the Upper East Side of Manhattan in New York City. Bounded by 79th Street to the south and 96th Street to the north, 3rd Avenue to the west, and the East River to the east, it's got a population of approximately 80,000 people. This neighborhood is a dense residential environment which includes a mix of historic brownstones, pre-war buildings, and modern high-rise apartments. The variety and housing option attracts a diverse population here. Historically, this neighborhood was a cultural melting pot with significant populations of German, Hungarian, Irish, and Czech immigrants. The heritage is still visible today in the form of cultural institutions, restaurants, and community centers that celebrate those roots. For example, places like Schaller and Weber, a traditional German butcher shop, and the Bohemian National Hall, a Czech cultural center. The neighborhood's closeness to Central Park means it's not so affordable for communities like those anymore, and it's becoming one of the more exclusive places in the city. It's well served by public transportation, too. It doesn't feel as crowded as you might expect from a place where so many people live, and instead, it's seen as a vibrant community. Its commercial avenues, particularly along 2nd and 3rd Avenues, are lined with a variety of shops, cafes, restaurants, and bars, meaning there's always something to do and somewhere to go. Number 12, West Point, Monrovia in Liberia. So West Point is a neighborhood in Monrovia, which is the capital city of Liberia, and it's now one of the largest informal settlements in the city. It's a sprawling community that's on a narrow peninsula between the Atlantic Ocean and the Mesurado River, making it vulnerable to the challenges posed by overcrowding, poverty, and environmental hazards. As of recent estimates, West Point's home to approximately 75,000 to 80,000 residents, which on such a small piece of land means the population density here is really high. People live here in closely packed structures made from a variety of materials, often lacking the proper sanitation and basic infrastructure. The neighborhood does, though, have a resilient community spirit, with many inhabitants taking part in informal economic activities such as fishing, trading, and small-scale commerce. The local markets and street vendors contribute to the amazing atmosphere of the neighborhood, showcasing the resourcefulness of those who live there. The high population density and lack of infrastructure has made West Point susceptible to public health crisis, however, and in recent years it's been affected by outbreaks of diseases such as cholera and Ebola. Environmental challenges have also become a problem because of its position on the peninsula, which is highly vulnerable to coastal erosion and flooding. Efforts to improve living conditions in West Point have been ongoing, with various non-governmental organizations and government initiatives focusing on providing better sanitation, healthcare, and education. Community-led initiatives, too, have also played a critical role in addressing some of the difficulties here, with improvements taking place in recent years. Number 11. Hillbrow, Johannesburg, South Africa. Located in Johannesburg, Hillbrow is the most densely populated neighborhood in South Africa, known for its culture and high-rise buildings. Just to the north of the city's central business district, Hillbrow is home to between 74,000 and 100,000 residents, although the exact numbers can be difficult to know for sure. During the apartheid era, it was a predominantly middle-class suburb, but following the end of segregation in the early 1990s, the neighborhood experienced rapid demographic shifts. Many residents moved out, and Hillbrow became a hub for South Africans and immigrants from other African countries seeking opportunities in Johannesburg. This period also saw an increase in informal settlements and overcrowding, and is a place that's become known for its high crime rates, and being one of the most dangerous areas in Johannesburg. But beyond these issues, it's got a vibrant and bustling community. The high-rise buildings here, once symbols of modern architecture, now often stand in varying states of disrepair. Many of them have been subdivided into smaller units to accommodate the growing population, leading to further overcrowding and strain on infrastructure. Educational and healthcare facilities in Hillbrow have also struggled to meet the needs of its increasingly large population, but a number of initiatives are working to change this and turn Hillbrow into a welcoming community, and it's hoped that this will all become one of the most thriving precincts in Johannesburg in the coming years. Number 10. Santa Cruz del Islote, Colombia. Santa Cruz del Islote is just off the coast of Colombia in the Caribbean and holds the record of being the world's most densely populated island. This tiny piece of land, which is part of the San Bernardo archipelago, measures just 2.5 acres, but it's home to an estimated 1,200 to 1,300 people. This gives an average of around 124,000 people per square kilometer, making Santa Cruz del Islote a truly unique place. The limited space here means that every inch of land is used. The island is crisscrossed by narrow pathways with houses packed closely together, creating a maze-like network of buildings. The homes are typically small and made from materials such as wood and concrete, and despite the cramped conditions, the community has managed to create a functional living space, which includes a school, restaurant, a few shops, and even a small plaza where residents gather. Due to the lack of space for agriculture, though, residents rely heavily on fishing as their main source of food and income. Fish are plentiful in the surrounding waters, and fishing trips are a daily duty for most. There's a lack of some resources that means it can't be self-sufficient, though, such as a scarcity of fresh water, which means it must be transported from the mainland. Electricity, though, is mainly provided by generators and solar panels, with limited space for disposal and recycling. Despite all the challenges, though, the residents here have developed a strong sense of community, and if given the chance, most wouldn't want to live anywhere else. Number 9. Bahçelievler in Istanbul, Turkey. Bahçelievler is a bustling district in the European side of Istanbul in Turkey. It's one of the city's main residential and commercial hubs, known for its urban life. Covering an area of approximately 6.4 square miles, it's home to a number of residents, with recent estimates suggesting there's around 600,000 people. The name translates to houses with gardens, after originally being a suburban area with single-family homes with gardens. Over time, though, it's transformed into a densely populated urban area. This rapid change has been driven by Istanbul's overall growth and the district's useful location. This district is divided into several neighborhoods, each with its own unique character and features, meaning there's somewhere suitable for just about anyone. Transportation here is well developed and gives residents easy access to other parts of Istanbul. The district is served by a network of buses, minibuses, and the Metrobus rapid transit system, which runs along the D100 highway. Now, despite the huge population, it also has surprisingly good educational and healthcare facilities, with a number of public and private schools and higher education institutions. Healthcare services are pretty good too, with several hospitals and clinics providing medical care to residents, and parks and green spaces provide residents with areas for relaxation and outdoor activities, and a number of cultural events and festivals are held in the district, making it a visitor destination too. Number 8. Male, the Maldives. Male is the capital of the Maldives, and it's located on its own island at the southern edge of the North Malay Atoll. As the political, economic, and cultural heart of the Maldives, it's got a population of over 200,000 residents, which is around one-third of the entire population of the Maldives, but it's contained in an area that's less than 2.3 square miles. The city's population density is one of the highest in the world, which has led to significant challenges in terms of housing, infrastructure, and public services. And it's increasingly covered with high-rise buildings, which have become necessary to accommodate the growing population. The city's population growth has been caused by both natural population increase and migration from other islands in the Maldives, with people moving to Malé in search of better employment opportunities. The government has long recognized the challenges posed by the high population density and has undertaken initiatives to address it. Efforts have been made to expand the housing and improve public services, and they've started looking at radical solutions too, one of which is the development of Hulhumale, an artificial island being built to ease the population pressure. Still though, there's no other place quite like it in the world, where traditional Maldivian customs coexist with influences from around the world. The bustling fish market and busy ports are an amazing welcome to the country, and the coastal city has several historical sites, such as the 17th century Friday Mosque, and the Maldives National Museum, which offers a glimpse into the rich history and heritage of the nation. Moving on to number 7. Santo Antonio, Macau in China. Santo Antonio is one of the oldest districts in Macau, and it's famous for its charm. With a population exceeding 100,000 people within its relatively small area, it's got a diverse demographic, with a mix of Chinese, Portuguese, and other communities, which is a result of the area's rich history. The high population density here is a product of both historical developments and modern urbanization. As one of the earliest settled areas in Macau, it's long been a residential and commercial hub, and over the years it's evolved, with many of its traditional buildings giving way to high-rise residential complexes. It is an amazing place to be, where the streets are bustling with activity from local markets and small shops to larger commercial stores. Still, with an old layout, it's got narrow, winding streets often crowded with pedestrians, vehicles, and bikes, but this is occasionally broken up with parks and recreational areas that are vital communal spaces. Housing in the district varies from older, traditional homes to modern high-rise apartments. The district's government has made efforts to manage this issue by encouraging urban renewal projects and improving infrastructure, but this is a continual battle. The district is home to several significant historical sites, including the ruins of St. Paul's, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, which stands as a memory of the district's colonial past. There's no doubt that this district is the beating heart of Macau, with a mix of traditional business and modern companies, local markets, restaurants, and shops. They all offer a wide selection of goods and services catering to both residents and visitors. Number 6. Mathare North in Nairobi, Kenya. Mathare North is a densely populated neighborhood in Kenya's capital city of Nairobi, and it's part of the larger Mathare Valley slum, which is one of the oldest informal settlements in the region. It's home to an estimated 80 to 100,000 people within its tiny area. The structures here are packed closely together with narrow, unpaved pathways weaving throughout the community, and it's this limited space and high population that have led to significant challenges, including poor housing, sanitation issues, and limited access to clean water and health care. Despite the economic hardships, though, the community here is known for its resourcefulness, with some residents setting up businesses such as small shops, food stalls, and markets to provide essential goods and services to the local population. This high population density here has heightened several social issues, including crime, unemployment, and access to education. Schools in the area are often overcrowded with nowhere near enough resources to meet all the needs. The local government and various non-governmental organizations have been working to improve these problems through various programs and initiatives, and it seems to have made some headway in recent years. Public services, though, and infrastructure do remain strained, with one of the biggest challenges being access to clean water and proper sanitation facilities. This, in turn, can lead to further health problems and is arguably the most important thing that needs to be solved. Number 5. San Andreas in Manila, the Philippines. San Andreas is a district in the city of Manila in the Philippines, and while it only takes up a relatively small space, it is the most densely populated region within the city, and with an estimated 144,000 people. There's good reason why people want to live here too, as the neighborhood is a great position within the city, and with its grid-like layout of streets, it's usually filled with a constant stream of pedestrians, jeepneys, tricycles, and other forms of transportation. Residents live in a mix of housing types ranging from traditional bahay kubo, which are native huts, to modern apartments and condominiums. With the closely packed houses and limited open space, you never have to go far to find street vendors selling a variety of goods, from fresh produce to household items and local eateries offering Filipino delicacies. San Andreas also plays an important role in Manila's education and religion, with a number of schools, both including public and private institutions, as well as churches and religious centers that are scattered throughout. Despite challenges, though, posed by its high population, San Andreas has managed to maintain a strong sense of community, as it can be seen in local events and festivals that take place throughout the year, which bring together residents and help create a sense of belonging and solidarity. Number 4. Zaveri Bazaar in Mumbai, India. Zaveri Bazaar, which can be found in the center of Mumbai in India, is one of the country's most well-known commercial districts, and it's famous for its jewelry market. The marketplace area is home to headquarters of virtually all the major jewelry organizations in India, and it's said that 65% of all gold trading and dealing in the country originates here. Zaveri Bazaar's history dates back to the 19th century, and it's since evolved into the premier destination for gold, diamonds, and other precious stones in Mumbai. The density of shops here is matched only by the density of people, which has created a vibrant atmosphere. The population density in and around Zaveri Bazaar is the highest in Mumbai. The area falls under the C ward of Mumbai, which is one of the most densely populated wards in the city. According to the 2011 census of India, there are hundreds of thousands of people living in the surrounding districts. On any given day, the streets see a huge influx of people. This includes not only the shop owners and their employees, but also a vast number of customers, suppliers, and tourists. The streets are often packed with people navigating the narrow lanes, adding to the area's lively and chaotic vibe. There are also some challenges, though, particularly in terms of infrastructure, traffic congestion, and maintaining security, given the high value of goods traded in the market. Constant developments are underway to try to accommodate so many people, but there's a balance to be struck. The bazaar has been like this for so long that the atmosphere there just as important as the homes and the products for sale, and it's vital that improvements don't affect that. Number 3. Ajurome Ifelodun, Lagos, Nigeria. Ajurome Ifelodun, which is in Lagos State in Nigeria, is the most densely populated and dynamic local government area in the country. This vibrant district, whose name means Land of Wealth in Yoruba, has an important place in the economy of Lagos, which is Nigeria's largest city and economic center. It's in the southwestern part of the city, bordered by the Lagos Lagoon to the north and the Apa industrial area to the south. The region covers several neighborhoods, which is perhaps the most famous and culturally significant, which is known for its rich cultural diversity, drawing people from various backgrounds across Nigeria and West Africa. And it's known for its vibrant music scene, being the birthplace of the popular Ejegunu music style, which blends reggae, dancehall, and local Nigerian rhythms. According to the 2006 national census, it had a population of over 684,000 people, but given the rapid urbanization and population growth of Lagos, more recent estimates suggest the population has significantly increased, with figures often claimed to be over 1.5 million residents as of the early 2020s. This all makes sense once you see the densely packed residential buildings, bustling markets, and countless small businesses, with most residents living in closely knit communities, often in crowded conditions. And this, of course, leads to issues such as difficulties in accessing basic amenities, such as water, sanitation, and healthcare. Educational and healthcare services here do face significant demand due to the large population, but there are lots of public and private schools in the area. While overcrowding in the schools is a common issue, there are ongoing efforts by the government to improve educational infrastructure and quality. And with the healthcare services being similarly stretched, there's real concern about the continued increasing numbers of people. Many residents find that there's more provision there than in the rural areas that they've come from, so they really do see this as a major improvement. But with such strong musical links, many famous Nigerian musicians and athletes too have roots here, and it's seen as a real breeding ground for talent, making it one of the places to be if you're in Lagos. Number 2. Lalba Thana in Dhaka, Bangladesh. Lalba Thana is one of the oldest and largest neighborhoods in Dhaka, the capital city of Bangladesh. Officially a part of the Dhaka South City Corporation, it's home to the famous Lalba Fort, an incomplete but iconic 17th century Mughal fort complex. While this is what it's best known for, the area is primarily residential and a commercial hub, and it's got a huge population within the boundaries. According to the Bangladesh Bureau of Statistics, the population here is approximately 200,000 people, which is not too much of a surprise in Dhaka, which is one of the world's most densely populated cities. In terms of the local economy, it's a mixed area with both residential and commercial zones. It's mainly small businesses, retail shops, and services to cater to residents and tourists, and the streets are usually bustling with activity with vendors selling everything from fresh produce to clothing and electronics. Even with such a huge number of people, facilities are much better in comparable places, with several schools, colleges, and madrasas, which cater to educational needs of the local population. Institutions like Lalba Government Model School and College are well known and play a critical role in providing quality education to the youth in the area. Healthcare facilities are good there too, with numerous clinics, pharmacies, and hospitals. The presence of both government and private healthcare providers ensures that residents have options when it comes to medical care. But it hasn't always been this way, with major improvements in recent years to the infrastructure. Some challenges remain, and issues such as traffic congestion, inadequate waste management, and occasional flooding during the monsoon season are persistent problems that still need to be tackled. Number 1. Imbaba, Cairo, Egypt. Located in northern Giza, close to the ancient pyramids, Imbaba is a district in the Giza Governorate of Egypt, and it currently holds the record for being the most densely populated city subdivision on the planet. Cairo itself is one of the largest cities in Africa, but with an area of just 3.2 square miles, Imbaba has a population of almost 1.5 million people, which is the equivalent to around 460,000 per square mile. This has created an amazing community made up of people from all sorts of different backgrounds, with a mixture of long-established families and newer residents who have moved to the area in search of employment and better living conditions. This influx of people, though, has led to a complex social fabric where different cultural and social traditions coexist. Most residents rely on small business, street vending, and various forms of trade. The local markets in Imbaba are always teeming with activity, offering a huge range of goods from fresh produce to clothing. The markets here are not only critical for the local economy, but also serve as social hubs where residents interact and strengthen community bonds. There's no doubt, though, that such a huge population in a small area has strained what might elsewhere be seen as basic provisions. With existing infrastructure issues from traffic congestion and poor waste management to lack of public transportation and nowhere near enough housing, residents are commonly forced to live in densely packed formal settlements which can be precarious. Education here is a mixed landscape too, and while there are several public and private schools serving the district, the quality of the education can vary significantly. Overcrowding in schools is common, but there are ongoing efforts by the government to improve educational outcomes and provide better opportunities for the youth of Imbaba. In a similar way, public services such as the water supply, electricity, and sanitation are available in the district, but the quality and reliability of these services can be inconsistent. Efforts to upgrade and expand the infrastructure are ongoing, but the rapid population growth often outpaces these improvements, leading to persistent delivery issues. While investment continues, overcrowding like this is one of the reasons that Egypt's government has decided to build a whole new city to become the new capital, and it's hoped that once that's complete, residents from places like Imbaba will be some of the first to make the move. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time. Thank you to our channel members.